What's going on, you sexy beasts? I've been playing a whole bunch of War of the Roses and decided to give you guys a little insider info in the loadout that I've been using. For this particular guide, I'm going to be using the Crossbow exclusively, as this class is built to be an anti-archer, despite its main weapon. First off, we'll be using the steel-spanned crossbow, with the reload mechanism being the windlass, and finishing up with the crescent quarrel heads. The crescent quarrels will give an insane amount of damage to the already lethal crossbow, and adding the windlass on top of it will guarantee a one-hit kill to any player unfortunate enough to be wearing light or medium armor. Most archers will be wearing a light gambeson or plate mail solely due to the default class wearing these types of armor. Our crescent quarrels lack armor penetration, so you're not going to be dealing a lot of damage to knights in full plate. My secondary weapon of choice is the mace, with a Milanese fighting style and standard iron and shaft. This is to effectively make our standing presence against a heavily armored enemy more formidable. Maces deal blunt damage, so heavy plate will be less effective. To top it all off, I have a steel domed shield on with standard wood and plate as well. If a knight does get you toe-to-toe, you're going to have a much better fighting chance against him with your mace than with a sword or your crossbow. For armor, I opted to select the armor that counters the exact setup that I'm using. Since the crossbow I will be using will effectively one-shot medium and light armor, I choose the heavy plate armor. The added encumbrance is easily noticeable in reloading a windlass crossbow, so for the helmet, the ranged hood is the best choice. It gives near zero encumbrance and looks pretty awesome too. Just remember that you're going to be extremely vulnerable to headshots. And on to the perks. The first perk of choice is for offensive is going to be pretty obvious. Archer. This is necessary for you to even equip your crossbow. The two secondary perks are going to be Sleight of Hand, which reduces the passive reload of your crossbow, and Eagle-Eyed, which allows you to zoom up to 4 times when you press Control while aiming. Defensive perk of choice is indeed going to be Shield Bearer, with a Shield Wall and Shield Expert as the two secondary perks. These work well together to help you combat your encumbrance with heavy plate and a shield combo. Blocking is quick and easy with the shield, and will make your survivability pure awesomeness. The support perk is Surgeon, which is pretty much the best support perk of the two. With the secondary perks being Sterilized Bandages and Barber Surgeon, you'll be bandaging yourself and allies up to full health with 1 bandage, and be reviving people in 3 seconds or less. This is obviously the best perk for the slot. For the movement perk, I chose Infantry, which makes sense because there's no mounted ranged combat. The secondary perks are going to be Runner and Fleet-footed. This allows us to reach our double time speed more quickly, and allows the double time speed to be, well, doubled. For my officer perks, and this is purely optional due to having to be a squad leader in order to use them, I use Reinforce and Armor Banner bonuses. This gives additional damage and armor respectively. The only archer bonus is ammunition regeneration speed, which is unnecessary with the windlass crossbow since you won't have a super high rate of fire. On to some gameplay. The role of the archer is to support your melee combatants, as they'll be trying to capture points and generally be up in some serious shit. Now the role of my archer is to kill off their archers. I let the melee fight each other by eliminating the enemy's firepower. There's a couple things to note when acquiring targets. First off, what type of armor do they have? If they're wearing light armor, it's fine to shoot them just about anywhere. If they're medium, don't try to aim for the chest since that's their most heavily armored location. Go for the shoulders or legs as they're more fleshy. If the target is plate, aim for the joints near the waist or elbows, or try to pop them in the head if their visor is up or if they don't have a strong helmet. Now the actual firing of the crossbows were a few things are missing from the game's tutorial: steadying and zooming. Since you have the Eagle Eye perk, you can zoom into 4 times the distance, allowing you to get a close-up look of your prey. Pressing Control will allow you to zoom in, and holding Shift will make your character steady the crossbow, allowing for a much easier shot. Just remember to hold Shift for just a few seconds at a time, or your character will fatigue and go pretty much all willy-nilly. Reloading the crossbow is pretty simple. Hold right-click to begin the reload process. There's 3 things you'll notice. First is the red circle indicating the reload sequence. The second is the notched strip indicating the progress of reloading. And the third is the clip spinning in the middle. In order to perform an active reload, you have to left-click once the clip is in the notches of the strip. Getting a correct active reload will cause the clip to pull the notch stripped clockwise, closer to finishing the reload. Mastering the skill will be the difference between a dead enemy and you being dead. There is indeed bolt and arrow drop in this game, but since we're super cool and using crossbows, you don't have to worry much about it. It's hard to state how to compensate for bolt drop as there's no mill dots to use or distances or anything, but it just comes with practice. If the target is across the battlefield, aim up just a tiny bit. Odds are your bolt will hit their toe and more than likely one-shot them. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial or guide for the badass crossbowman, and hopefully you learned something from it. If there's anything I can do better, please let me know in the comments below, and if you did find this video helpful, please give it an awesome thumbs up. Want to see more? Subscribe! It's free!